Anna embarked on a cruise with her husband, but it was in the arms of 2 crew members that she found what she had always been missing. The hidden encounters turned into a scandal when the truth was revealed. In the middle of the ocean, Anna had always been a woman who valued stability in her life. Married to Richard, a hardworking and caring man, she believed she had found complete happiness. The couple decided to go on a week-long Caribbean cruise to celebrate their wedding anniversary. Anna was excited but also a bit apprehensive. The monotony of their routine and the lack of passion in recent months left her restless. As soon as the ship set sail, Anna found herself swept up in the vibrant and festive atmosphere of the cruise. The nightly parties, dancing, and new friendships created a sense of freedom she hadn't experienced in a long time. During the first dinner, Anna met 2 crew members, Leo and Mark. Leo was a charismatic dancer with a dazzling smile, while Mark was more reserved, but his intense gaze captivated her. In the first few days, Anna tried to focus on her husband, but the chemistry between her and the 2 men was undeniable. Leo often approached her during daytime activities, cracking jokes and openly flirting with her. Anna felt her heart race. He brought a new, exciting energy that made her feel alive again. One afternoon, while Richard was busy with cruise activities, Anna decided to explore the ship alone. Passing by the pool area, she found Leo practicing dance steps. He invited her to join him, and after a moment of hesitation, she agreed. The dancing quickly turned into something more intimate. Their gazes locked, and their smiles grew more provocative. That night, during a costume party on the upper deck, Anna found herself dancing with Leo again. He leaned in to whisper something in her ear, sending a shiver down her spine. The touch of his hands as they danced was electrifying. In a moment of impulse, Anna made a bold move and kissed him softly. The kiss was intense and unexpected. Anna felt as if she were floating. The adrenaline of the betrayal consumed her as she realized she was about to cross a line of no return. However, as she looked around and saw Richard chatting animatedly with friends, a wave of guilt washed over her. In the days that followed, Anna and Leo's encounters became more frequent. They exchanged secret messages and met at night under the stars on the ship's deck. Mark also began joining these escapades. He was more discreet than Leo, but his presence added a new layer to the dangerous game Anna was playing. The betrayals became frequent, furtive encounters in the less crowded areas of the ship or in crew cabins during their free hours. Anna felt more alive than ever. The desire was palpable and uncontrollable when she was with them. However, moments of guilt loomed like a shadow, especially when she thought of Richard's innocent devotion. A fateful day arrived when Richard decided to surprise Anna with a romantic candlelit dinner in their cabin. He was eager to rekindle the spark in their relationship. However, as he lovingly prepared everything, Anna was lost in her thoughts about Leo and Mark. During dinner, Richard noticed something was wrong. Anna was distant and distracted. He tried to start conversations about their cruise experiences, but her responses were short and uninterested. The tension grew as Richard sensed that something more was going on. That same night, during the cruise's farewell party, secrets began to unravel. A group of passengers started whispering about rumors involving Anna and the 2 crew members. Curiosity spread like wildfire. Some passengers even began asking indiscreet questions. Richard became alarmed upon hearing murmurs about his wife. He didn't want to believe what he was hearing. Doubt started eating away at his confidence as he tried to maintain composure at the party. When he finally confronted Anna about the rumors on the ship's empty deck, she hesitated before responding. I don't know what you're talking about, Anna said nervously, but her expression betrayed her words. Richard felt his heart sink as he realized there was more going on between her and the crew members. Are you telling me there's nothing going on with Leo or Mark? I've heard things tonight, Richard said, his voice trembling. The silence between them was deafening as Anna struggled with her conflicting emotions. Richard, she began before being interrupted by Leo, who suddenly appeared behind them. Anna, I've been looking for you. He smiled casually, but the look in his eyes told a different story. The scene before them was devastating. Richard stood frozen as he saw the man who had become the object of his wife's hidden desires standing right in front of him. Leo's expression quickly shifted as he realized the tension in the air. Hey, I was just talking to Anna, said Leo, trying to act casually while Richard glared at him. I think you should leave, Richard said firmly, his voice loaded with restrained anger. This has nothing to do with you. Leo raised his hands in a gesture of surrender before slowly walking away. Richard, I can explain, Anna said desperately as tears began streaming down her face. But her words felt hollow in the face of the visible pain in his eyes. The confrontation was explosive. Harsh words were exchanged as they tried to understand how this had all happened right under his nose. The truth came crashing down like a tsunami. the secret meetings were revealed amid a storm of emotions. Richard left the party in tears while Anna realized the gravity of her mistake, not just for betraying her innocent husband but also for destroying everything they had built together over the years. The days that followed were bleak for everyone involved in the betrayal. The cruise ended on a heavy and tense note. Richard decided to return home alone after that devastating experience, while Anna was left alone to grapple with the weight of her poor choices. Leo and Mark left after that fateful day. They knew they couldn't stay any longer without causing further pain to a family already shattered by the scandal exposed in the middle of the ocean. Anna learned the hard way about the consequences of her actions. Her search for excitement had led to the destruction of the true love she once had with Richard. And so ended a story marked by betrayal in the deep waters of the sea, a bitter lesson about lost loyalty and questionable character amidst the emotional chaos brought on by impulsive choices made under momentary pressure. In the months that followed, Anna faced a profound emptiness in her life without Richard by her side. She tried to move on with her daily routine after returning home, but every corner of her life reminded her of the happy memories they had shared before the betrayal was uncovered during their once-dreamed-of cruise. The memories of laughter at the onboard parties now echoed distantly, filled only with unbearable emotional pain. Meanwhile, Richard sought solace among friends during this painful time. He needed to understand how he had missed the signs before Anna's betrayal became a devastating reality in their lives. Deep conversations with friends brought him some comfort, though deeply wounded. He knew he needed to find the strength within himself to move forward without looking back. Anna struggled with intense feelings. Guilt was a constant companion, but there were also moments when memories of the good times they had shared resurfaced, bringing painful nostalgia. One night, as she gazed out the window of the living room where so much laughter had once echoed before the tragedy unfolded, Anna decided to write a letter to Richard. It was her last attempt to express her feelings and ask for forgiveness for the pain she had caused. In the letter, she confessed her weaknesses and acknowledged how much she had hurt someone who had been so good to her. She wrote about how she missed him every day and wished she could turn back time to fix her mistakes. With tears in her eyes, Anna sealed the letter and decided to deliver it personally to the house where Richard was now temporarily staying after the end of their strained relationship. When she arrived, her heart raced as she saw the man she still loved sitting alone, staring out the window, lost in thought. There was a strange mix of deep pain and perhaps even a glimmer of hope behind the tired expression reflected on his face. "Richard," she began hesitantly, stepping slowly toward him. "I just wanted to." He raised his hand, cutting her off. "I'm not sure I want to hear this right now." His voice, heavy with emotion, conveyed the anguish he had been holding back for so long. "Please," she implored, "just hear me out." Richard hesitated before nodding slowly. He needed to hear what she had to say, even though he knew how painful it might be to relive those difficult moments again. Anna handed him the letter, her hands trembling slightly, as he stared at her, searching for answers in the handwritten words filled with raw emotional desperation. After a few silent minutes, reading each carefully chosen word, something inside him began to soften, despite the lingering pain in his wounded heart. "I don't know if I can forgive you," Richard said at last, breaking the heavy silence between them, "but I appreciate you coming here today." The words felt like a release for both of them. While they knew nothing would return to normal immediately, there was perhaps a glimmer of hope for them to find some kind of peace after all the emotional chaos they had endured since the devastating betrayal was uncovered. But that hope quickly dimmed as days passed without significant changes between them. Each encounter was marked by awkward silences, where frustrated attempts at conversation were stifled by the weight of unspoken emotion. Richard began avoiding frequent meetings with Anna. He needed to process everything on his own, without being constantly reminded of the open wounds caused by her betrayal, wounds that seemed to be healing slowly, or perhaps not at all. Meanwhile, Anna remained trapped in her torturous thoughts, trying to understand how she had reached such a dark point in her life. Surrounded by memories of the happy moments they had once shared, now transformed into distant echoes filled only with unbearable emotional pain. She often walked through the house, recalling the plans they had made together before their personal tragedy unfolded. Those plans now seemed as distant as the stars in the night sky, impossible to reach or relive again. Nights were particularly hard for both of them. While Richard battled deep insomnia filled with nightmares of imagined betrayals or painful memories of the love he had once shared with Anna, she spent hours awake, haunted by the wrong choices that had led her to such anguishing loneliness. They were both trapped in vicious cycles fueled by the mutual pain caused by the betrayal, unable to fully move forward or find new paths without constantly looking back at the shadows of their past. And so, Their lives continued separately yet interconnected by invisible threads formed from the experiences they had once shared. Those experiences were now bitter memories, laden with the tragic consequences of impulsive decisions made without considering future repercussions. Meanwhile, the cruise ship carried on with its vibrant activities, bringing new energy to an environment once marred by betrayal. The fresh colors of new experiences starkly contrasted with the lingering old memories ingrained in the structure of what had once been a happy journey, now turned into an emotional minefield where any step could trigger devastating internal explosion. Life moved forward, indifferent to the personal pain both of them faced. New days dawned, bringing empty promises with no real guarantee of healing or reconciliation for the two lost souls adrift in the fog of their past. And so, they continued their separate journeys through the shadows left by betrayal, without happy endings or traditional closure. Instead, their story became a vague account of what had happened, marked by the deep scars left on the broken hearts of two people trying to make sense of the emotional chaos caused by impulsive choices made in fleeting moments of weakness.